Thank you. It is indeed a privilege to be here. I was carefully listening to the sounds that were coming, both from the conjunction of the FinTech as a service or as an ecosystem enabler, and also from the policymakers and regulators. I think now that we have gone into digital lending and FinTech collaboration for close to now 3 years or 4 years. So there are a few writings on the wall, which all of us must take note of. The first one is that the system has not gone to the level of maturity that all of us, that is at the regulatory level, at the commercial bank level or the NBFC level, we would have wished to achieve, is because there is no synchronization of the complete delivery chain. Currently, all the FinTech efforts are concentrated around credit sourcing and approval. Whereas if we take people, process, technology, and governance as the 4 pillars of any system, of lending ecosystem, then probably the people who are there in the commercial banking sector or the large formal credit dispensing structure, people are not attuned to this new technology of taking inputs from a very distributed and diversified system. So we'll have to work. That technology alone will not work. The processes need to be attuned to that. People need to be attuned to that. And MIS, communication, compliance, and risk management, those which are the governance ecosystem, that also must be attuned to that. The second thing that I will like to flag here that people must bring is that initially as an innovation enabler, doing individual innovation is good. But beyond a point, the platform exclusivity must end. There must be platform connectivity. It must go beyond platform exclusivity to, let us say now PSP loans in 59 minutes is happening. There are individual banks which are also doing this. There are credit scoring companies which are doing this. Excellence, or there are models, as I heard from some of our friends from the FinTech sector, in a BC model, gradually migrating into a co-origination model is working. So now this platform connectivity or platform interplay has to come in order that we go to the next level of scaling up. Understanding the entire value chain and enabling digital in all the value chain component is the first one. Second is a time when the exclusive platforms which are required for beginning an innovation or beginning a FinTech revolution must get connected and must collaborate in order to serve the ecosystem. Third one that I want to tell is that only the first one is being considered. That is a new loan approval or giving a loan to one who has been excluded from the formal banking and finance system. But what about renewals? What about temporary access drawings? What about frequent enhancements? This somehow I'm not seeing a lot of work happening. And the appetite of one particular player may end, or they may be playing a niche role in only sourcing and giving the first small credit, after which the appetite could end, after which the loan file, lock, stock, and barrel must transfer to a bigger player who must also be on the same platform, because bankers need some amount of track record. Initially, for small credit, the NBFCs and the FinTech firm or the co-origination firm may be able to take the risk. It has nurtured it. Now the track record is established. Now it is ready to be taken over at a lower interest rate by a bigger entity. How do we manage with FinTech this solution of transition? This is another thing that could be done to go and do business at a scale. Last thing that I want to flag here, for want of time, only I'll stop here so that later on if questions come. that there is a preponderance of dependence on structured data, whether it is GST data, whether it is income tax data, or whether it is so. But this MSME, especially on the micro end of the MSME, it works on an informal data set. Yes, we have got, I got again some amount of insight that yes, we are giving psychometric tests and so on and so forth. But how do we bring this uniformity? Because if I think one of the participants told that NBFCs follow a different rule, a microfinance company follows a different rule, bank follows a different rule. Now, for players like ScoreMe, who are devising enablers, like a scoring parameter or something like that, unless there is convergence and congruence of data, because if data is not reliable, see what happens is that if a lot of informal data is taken from various sources, it will require vast amount of processing and computing power to make it usable for credit lending. So if majority of the data remains in the informal or unstructured sector, this will not resolve the problem. So what we need to do is that standardization of data collection at the MSME level, because their problem is not that they don't have turnover. Their problem is that they have been taught to stay away from the formal system. They have not been taught how to keep a proper book of account, which will be useful when they grow big in 2-year or 3-year time. So how do we do this? So these are the 4-5 problems that we need to solve as a group, as a community, so that MSME lending, which is the backbone of the country's last mile economy, will thrive in the days to come. Thank you.